Hey Wyatt, welcome to Minnesota. Hopefully, first couple days have gone all right for you. I was curious about that year that you redshirted at Ohio State, and the transition from high school to being, in a program where you're expected to condition at a college level. How challenging was the conditioning aspect, and what did you learn about it the most that year?
Just naturally coming from high school to college, it's going to be a huge jump just from the speed of the game. So for me, the biggest thing that I learned was, obviously staying in shape and being in good condition, and really once you get to the to that college level, and then even more so now, it's really more on the mental side of things, really knowing what you're supposed to do and knowing your responsibilities and what type of defenses there are. Because once you understand that, then you can move a lot faster. But if you're still trying to figure that out, then you're going to play a lot slower and think a lot slower.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, okay. Hey, Wyatt, welcome to Minnesota. Wanted to see, are you planning on signing your contract before you step on the field this afternoon, or are you just going to have an injury protection thing during minicamp?
I'm not completely sure. I'm kind of just taking it as it comes. I got a lot of other stuff I'm more concerned about, like understanding the playbook and stuff like that. But I'm not too sure.
Andrew?
Hey Wyatt, I'd read that you decided to go back to Ohio State for your last year before you even got the draft advisory board feedback. What made that such a quick decision for you, and then how did that extra year kind of prepare you for what you're going to go through now?
Well, just for me, the only reason why I even opted out in the first place was just because the way the Big Ten was kind of handling it at that time. It said that the commissioner came out and said that we will not revisit this idea. So just based on that alone, for much consideration from my O-line coach and my family, my O-line coach was, the one that was telling me that I should take that next step because it doesn't look like we're having a season. So with that being said, though, I told my online coach as well as Coach Day and our athletic director Gene Smith that if we're back on, then I'm 100% all in, and it's because I still had a lot of stuff that I wanted to prove, not only to not only in the Big Ten but also to my teammates. Really wanted to be a leader and step into that role, and I just felt like I still had a lot of work to do. So I'm happy I went back that last year because I couldn't have imagined watching the national championship game from home. So I'm happy I came back, and I definitely think by playing this year has put me in a better position than not playing football at all.
Matthew?
Hi, Wyatt. Wondering your thoughts on Justin Fields ending up in the division. I'm sure you saw in the schedule it's going to be a while until you guys face each other, but just your thoughts on kind of what your team is going to be going up against with Justin Fields in Chicago for presumably a long time.
Right. No, Justin, he's a competitor. I love him. Obviously when we play him, it's going to be more of a love-hate type deal. But he's a competitor. He's a true student of the game, and I feel like I said, since he's a competitor, we have competitors on our team as well, and I think it's going to be a great matchup because I know that he's putting everything into it, both on the field and off, and we definitely need to come ready to play. He's a great player, and there's no doubt in my mind that we will.
Wyatt, the Vikings scouting staff had a directive from Mike Zimmer to not only find athletic offensive linemen, but they wanted big guys, the size that you might not typically associate with guys who play in a zone scheme. Might sound like a basic question, but how does one maintain the size of being 6'4", 315, or whatever you're at right now, and be able to move at that size? How difficult is that? And I guess what are the steps for you that you've taken over your career to be able to do that so effectively?
Yeah, so really, it's not a huge jump for me. Fortunately, I was at Ohio State. We ran a zone. We were a tight zone and wide zone team in the run game, which is pretty much the same type of stuff that we do now with the Vikings. And for me, right now, the only thing that I really need to focus on getting down is the overall terminology, because I understand the concept. I understand the aiming points on blocks. But I would just say, it's not something that's new to me because I was asked to do this type of stuff at Ohio State. So really, it's just about repetition, practice, and as far as moving quick, being at my size, it's never really been a problem for me.
Lindsay?
Hey Wyatt, welcome to the team. I'm just wondering what these last couple days have been like for you. Just kind of first impressions of the facility and being here in Minnesota. And I know you guys had a walkthrough, but how excited are you to just have practice this afternoon?
Oh, well, first of all, Minnesota's beautiful, and the facility is outrageous. It's mind blowing, and it's so big that I almost get lost every time that I come in here. But I'm more than excited. I'm so happy that we're playing football now, not running around cones. So the first practice went well, and I'm just looking forward to this upcoming practice and getting back into that rhythm of playing football.
Dave?
Hey Wyatt, I'm just wondering if you ever watched your dad in the program, and if you did, what did you think of his performance, but also just his career as an actor?
Well, see, it was funny because my dad, I didn't find out that he was an actor until I was probably about 6 years old, and that's actually the first time I saw the movie The Program, because we were over at a family friend's house and they put it on. I just remember hearing some pretty explicit scenes out of my dad's mouth, and I was kind of like, "This is you?" But no, it's really cool, and my dad, he's super humble about it. So as I got older, when I asked, he started telling me about all the stuff that he's been in, and I found out like probably right before I got to Ohio State that he was in 32 movies. Like I didn't even know that, and I've seen all the major ones of The Program and Beetlejuice and Under Siege, but no, it is definitely a pretty impressive career. I mean, it's also kind of random at the same time, just because I couldn't see him doing it, and I just think it's kind of funny. But no, it's really cool.
Chris?
Hey, Wyatt, I know you said when you were drafted you could play every position on the line. Have you gotten any more clarity on if they're going to look at you on the left side, right side, or what have you, or where you're going to work out in this minicamp or anything?
Yep. So for right now, I was told I'm playing right guard, but at the same time, anything can happen and change, and I'm more willing to play whatever position wherever they see fit. But as of right now, within this first practice, I was playing right guard.
Wyatt, how did those early years as a reserve help you when you got the opportunity to start? Because it looked like, just from all the accolades, the way that the season went, you were able to get into a groove really early. Did you feel that as it was happening? Or I guess just kind of how did that preparation prepare you for being able to take over a starter's role and do really well with it early on?
Well, truly sitting out those first 2 years was probably the hardest 2 years of my life as far as football is concerned, just because it's something that I care about truly. So, for me, obviously being a California kid, I didn't go all the way out to Ohio to sit on the sideline and just be satisfied with being a Buckeye. I wanted to go out there and compete and help my team win games, and not just to be a practice body. So within those first 2 years, I just was so motivated just to keep going and really to just try to outwork everybody, especially in the offensive line room, and trying to really put myself in a position to where I can go in and succeed. And that second year, I really treated every single practice as if I was a starter, and I feel like when the time came for me to play that second year, and I started those 2 games, and I played at extremely not just average. I played above average in those first 2 games, and I feel like I was really able to build off of that into my 2019 season and then so on to my 2020. So I think those first 2 years not only taught me a lot about football, but also taught me a lot about myself.
And I know you had that knee injury in the national championship game. How are things with your knee? What's the recovery process been like this offseason?
Oh, it's been good. So I was dealing with a knee injury actually kind of all season long, and at the national championship game is when it got the best of me in that second quarter. But I didn't have to get surgery or anything like that. I'm fully cleared. I'm 100%, and it feels good. And yeah, you know, at the moment the season was over, I was rehabbing it consistently.
Matthew?
Hey, Wyatt, Courtney sort of alluded to this earlier about Mike Zimmer wanting, bigger guys, but I mean, presumably that's to improve the pass protection on the interior that's been tough for this team the last couple of years. I guess I'm just curious for you about developing your techniques as a pass protector and how that process has gone for you and kind of what you're hoping to do in terms of a next step to be able to face, the beasts of the NFC North.
Right, so being at Ohio State too, I was playing in the Big Ten type of games that we were going up against. I was able to go against great pass rushers and great competition, and just going to Ohio State itself, I'm going against great NFL talent every single day at practice. So as far as pass pro goes, I mean, I'm still. You could always work to be better, and working with Coach Rico and understanding his new techniques now, I think is going to put me in an even better position to succeed. So, I'm just kind of like a sponge right now, soaking all of the technique and information down. And I'm just trying to apply it, and it's nothing that seems like I can't do. So, I'm just taking it one day at a time. And, once we get the pads on, I feel like it will be a bigger, I'll know more once we get the pads on and going through it, but I'm pretty confident.
Last two will go Craig and then Courtney.
Hey, Wyatt. Welcome to Minnesota and the Vikings. Just wanted to ask you if you've had time to interact with Christian yet, what kind of bond you hope to have together.
Oh yes, I've interacted with Christian. He's a great guy, and I look for us to come to be closer, being rookies together, and he, like I said, he's very nice, and we've been hanging out a lot these past couple of days since we got here, and looking forward to build that relationship down the line.
Do you have any acting skills? Is that something that you enjoy doing, having a father who's been in Hollywood?
No, I do not have any acting skills, and that is something that I would want to do either.
Do you think, though, I mean, having a father who's done movies and other things, like, does that make you a better communicator? Has that been something that you feel like you've picked up from him, just in how you communicate with people and how you speak?
Yes, no, I would definitely say so, especially with my dad and hearing how he interacts with people and how he speaks. I feel that's definitely had a huge impact on me as far as how I communicate.